Okay, Parshas Pinchas, Tafshin Pei Dalet. We're going to start right away to go into the psukim. We have three psukim that basically repeat each other, one after the other. This is the end of Parshas Balak. It says, Vayar Pinchas, Pinchas saw ben Elazar, the son of Elazar, ben Aaron HaKohen. You realize that just by Aaron, he says Kohen, he doesn't say by Elazar Kohen. Needs to be explained. Why do you relate him? You call him Ben Elazar, Ben Aaron, but you stop right there. Vayakoim, he stood up because he was sitting, right? You didn't know that? He was sitting down, so he stood up. Mitoicha Eida. Pinchas was in the Mishkan. Pinchas was not in the center. He was not in a bar. He was not with anyone. He was all the time learning Torah in the Mishkan from Moshe Rabbeinu. So what it means here, mitoich ha'eda, from among the people. He was never there. Vayikach roimach beyadoi, and he took in his hand, because in case you thought he would take it with his feet, so it says in his hand, vayikach roimach, because in the Mishkan, right, there's a room with all kind of weapons. Bnei Israel never came out to war with a weapon. The only weapon they had was the Aron HaKodesh, which was shooting sparkles through the body. So where did he get this roimach, this spear? And again, the only way to use a spear is in your hand. So what do you mean he took a spear in his hand? There were 12 nisim that happened that the Midrash Rabbah describes that, when he spear, he pierced them and he took them up. The spear didn't break. They didn't bleed. They didn't die yet. The people could see them like this and so forth. But it's not today the subject of the shiur. I'm going to remain on that first pasuk here and on that pasuk here. We're starting Parshas Pinchas, Vaydaber Hashem and Moshe le'imo. Pinchas, ben Elazar, ben Aaron HaKohen. In case you forgot that 3 psukim ago, that's exactly who we refer to. And pay attention, Pinchas has a yud. It's not written without a yud. It's written with a yud. And that's going to be a game-changing. Ben Elazar, ben Aaron HaKohen, Heshiv es chamasi. He returned my anger. He didn't remove my anger. He returned it. And what's that anger? HaKadosh Baruch Hu can have a bad midah that he get angry. Is it possible that HaKadosh Baruch Hu has midas like a human being, that we call him chamasi chas v'sham? Me'al b'nei Israel, from on top of the b'nei Israel, not on the b'nei Israel, from on top, me'al. From on top. Here, the soides, we're not going to make it, but it's a pity. Me'al b'nei Israel, from on top of the b'nei Israel, bekanoi eskin asi, when he avenged my vengeance. Oh my gosh. Is it mean that there were 2 vengeances here? Because otherwise, what's the repetition, bekanoi eskin asi? Obviously, there's more than one vengeance, but we only know of one problem, that Zimri went with Cosby before the entire nation. So what is the second vengeance here? Besoicha, from inside them. Oh, yeah, because the it's like an object, the kina, yeah, right? It goes into the pocket. V'lo yichilisi es b'nei Israel, I didn't exterminate the b'nei Israel. bekinasi, with my vengeance. I'm sorry. The only one that sinned are the Bnei Shimon. The 24,000 people that their father came from the Erev Rav. Basically, Shimon had a big problem. They were the Melamde Tinoikos. They were the Rebbeim to the Bnei Israel. And you know how you are sometimes. You open up the door and, you got to be cool with them. You got to have us Israel on them. You got to have all kind of tirutzim. And you don't know that with Reshaim, you close the door. And they let them in, and bit by bit, invited them for Shabbos at a meal. Ended up, they married their daughters. And they married their daughters, they had children. So children always go after the pagum, the one who's incomplete, and the incomplete is the Erev Rav. So that's why it says all along in the pasuk, Ha'am and not Bnei Israel. So why would Bnei Israel be chayav misa? Clear extermination. Now, let me dial back a little bit. Remember the Zohar, that this was the biggest nation. Vayachel ha'am liznois. The people started immorality. The Midrash Tanchuma explains what is Vayachel, that after 40 years they haven't sinned, but now they started to sin. After 40 years. This door was holy. Scratching my head. Who is Zimri? Zimri, the Midrash says, is Shlomiel ben Surishadai, the Nasi of Shevet Shimon, who basically, if you calculate, he was the grandson of Shimon himself. As Pirkei de Rabbi Eliezer brings down that Shimon himself endangered himself, basically, with his brother Levi to fight Znus. Come his grandson, and that's just the opposite. I really don't get it. We're talking about those, the door that heard HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, Anochi Hashem Elokecha. That's where they were the greatest. They heard Lo Yisach Moed, don't envy. And we have an old man that's over 250 years old. He's going to throw everything he has done all his life. And for who? For a girl. Cosby. Not going to have a lot of time to enter this Indian. I spoke about it last year in the Gilgulim, because this can only be explained through Gilgulim. Makes no sense. It's really mind-boggling, this whole thing. How is it possible that Zimri is going to give up all his life in Kedusha, all his life in Torah? And the Gemara says he went 424 times with Cosby. The old man, 424 times. Honestly, we all know 424 is a gematria Mashiach ben David. So we know there is a lot of things going on here. And we have to pick and choose. We're only going to talk about the vengeance of Pinchas, because there's plenty under it. The Gemara says in Sanhedrin, Pei Beis Amud Aleph, that we're not allowed to go in the Beis Midrash with a weapon. With a visible like this weapon, sword or spear or anything of any kind. So Moshe Rabbeinu. So Rashi says in the Gemara there that he took it from Moshe Rabbeinu. So Moshe Rabbeinu had nothing to do. He came with a spear to the Mishkan. Best Midrash, it's also, or Mishkan, it's mutter. Makes no sense. Where did he get that spear from? There was no spear. Even in the chotzer of the Mishkan is like a base midrash. You cannot enter them. So where did he get it from? Here we have, even thinking that Moshe Rabbeinu was, when he was walking in the Machne, not even in the base midrash, Moshe Rabbeinu had the roimach in his hand. He had the Mateh Eloikim in his hand with all the shemes of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. He didn't need a roimach. A roimach is not a weapon compared to the Mateh. With the Mateh, he could do anything he wanted. What did he need the roimach for? It made no sense that to say that Moshe Rabbeinu had a spear. The Talmud of the Ari HaKadosh, the Galia Raza here, has a lot of questions on his image. So the main thing we have to remember in the questions is the repetition, Pinchas ben Elazar ben Aaron HaKohen, understand the union of the Roimach, understand the vengeance, why it says in a language that it seems to have several vengeances, when truly we only see one. It's what Zimri has done. So the Galia Raza comes up on a different angle and asks a different question. And he asks as follows. How come only Pinchas got up? Were there not amongst Bnei Israel, the youngsters, the Kanoim, the Kedoshim, the valiant fighters for Hashem? Why only Pinchas got up? Why didn't Pinchas even ask Moshe Rabbeinu to give a chance to Moshe? It says, I don't remember the halacha. Ask your father, he's right there. No, Pinchas goes alone, and we see that HaKadosh Baruch Hu approved of his act because he got rewarded for it. What's the reason of all this? The Galia Raza here is going to give us, we're going to see two answers. They're not at the same place, but two different answers. And I believe it's Bedavka he gave two different answers, because that's going to put us on the rails in order to come to explain the language in the psukim and have a clear understanding of what happened. HaKadosh Baruch Hu was watching the Yetzer Hara, the Sam, the Russia, the Satan. That he was all the time, he was the one that pushed or tricked Elazar, the father of Pinchas, to marry a daughter of Yisro. Why? Because he wanted to have access. These are his people. People from the Sitra Achro that were there, he still has an access on them. And once they come to the Gedusha, so since it's his people that married with the Gedusha, he's entitled to be able, to draw some kind of benefit from the Gedusha. And remember, besides the Gedusha, there's no chiyus in this world. Besides the Gedusha, if even the dark side did not have a little bit of Gedusha, they could not remain alive. Life depends only on Gedusha. When there's no more Gedusha, there's no more life. So he was very happy because now he's going to have access not only to the Kedusha, to the utmost one, the one of the Mishkan. So when Elazar HaKohen had a boy, he was ecstatic about it. He said, whoa, now Aaron HaKohen is going to die, Elazar is going to die, and Pinchas will be Kohen Gadol instead of them, and he's going to go into the Kodesh HaKodashim. Whoa, I'm going to have plenty of life to store, plenty of Kedusha to store. When HaKadosh Baruch Hu heard this, halacha came out that anyone that was born prior to Aaron being anointed will not be a Kohen. In other words, since Pinchas was already born before Aaron was anointed Kohen Gadol, he could not be a Kohen. He had to be his children. The Sitra Achra was very, very disappointed, started making Dinei Torah in Shamayim. It's not fair, and this is the chelek of Pinchas, and it's been taken away from him unjustly. It has to be, basically now, he was turning into the lawyers of Pinchas. Until they were tired of him in Shamayim, and they decided, you know what? We're going to give him the Kehuna. But HaKadosh Baruch Hu made it also that Pinchas, he thinks he's going to draw a benefit from Pinchas. No, the Kedusha will draw a benefit through Pinchas. Pinchas will avenge the Kedusha from the dark side. In other words, the Satan thought that he would have access to the war chest. No. What he has, what he wanted, he's not going to have. And what he has, he's going to lose. As anyone that is choimed, anyone that envies, Chazal say, there's a haftacha, there's a guarantee. What you have, what you want, you will not reach. What you have, you will lose. So the envy works backwards. Instead of progressing and adding to what you have, you're going to lose also what you have. So, didn't know that. The Satan goes to Balaam, tells him, I have a great news for you. HaKadosh Baruch Hu permitted Goysha women to the Bnei Israel. Wow, that's a big statement to draw from just what happened in Shamayim. How did it happen? Because since Pinchas, despite being from Bas Putiel, can become Kohen Gadol later on, that means that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is not so regarding anymore about Bas El Necha, the daughter of a foreign god. This is how they are called Goysha women, the daughters of foreign gods. In other words, the one who goes with the shiktzah belongs to the foreign god. Who is the foreign god? It's really the mother. She is the mother of this woman. We're going to explain a bit deeper later, just later. I'm just presenting the facts right now, and as a, you know, we're gonna move in. So the Satan tells Balaam, we have an opportunity right now to take over what Paro failed, what all the previous Doros failed to take, the place of the Malchus. We have a chance. Through what? Through our daughters. Because they're going to be metame the Bnei Israel through the bris. And there's not going to be no more bris. So HaKadosh Baruch Hu will have to remove himself from the Malchus. The Malchus will remain dark, no more light. Remember those words. The Malchus will remain dark without any light. And at that point, the Goyim can go and remove her and remove the Bnei Israel. It goes hand in hand. The Malchus and the Bnei Israel go hand in hand. And when the Malchus doesn't get a light from the Beris, the Yesod on top, automatically the Malchus is weak because it's not connected to the other spheres. And it can be removed and replaced by the Lev. In other words, these people, all they wanted to do is, as long as we're alive, we want to do whatever we want. But we don't want to be punished for that. Who is the punisher? The Midas Adin, the Elohim, the Malchus. So for ages, they wanted to remove the Malchus in order to be able to feel free to do what they want. And he told him, go, take the Bnei Midian and the Bnei Moav and allow them to prostitute themselves. That's the right word. What he told it. We're going to see here yeah, okay, let's go in the pasuk. You see, every time it says in the pasuk, Vayar, he saw. We asked about this on in Parshas Balak. The Zohar, it's a very common question. If he saw, and we don't know what he saw. So we have here 425. Vayar Pinchas. Mashiach ben David plus the cradle. We all know that the Nitzoitz, how he came through Balak and Bilam at the same time, it's another story. I don't want to go into it right now. But Pinchas saw that here is the battle for the Nitzoitz of the Mashiach ben David. It's his time, so he had to know how to take it out. That's why only Midian will get punished first, and then only Moab, by the time of David, after David was born, after Ruth came out, after Naamah came out from there, then they will be decimated. There is, since we're in the 3 weeks, it's really, what's the downfall of the Jews? We have a huge weakness and a lot of strength. Lots of strength. Not with weapon, not with intelligence, with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. The Navi says, at the time of the destruction of the Beis Hamikdash, Bagda Yehuda rebelled. V'so'eva ne'esa be'Yisrael. And immorality, disgusting thing, immorality was done in Israel, Uvi Yerushalayim, and in Jerusalem. Yichilel Yehuda Kodesh Hashem. Yehuda desecrated what is holy to Hashem. Asher Ohev, that he loves. So what did he do? Ubaal Bas El Necha. And he went, had relations with the daughter of El Necha, a foreign god. The Beis Hamikdash altogether was destroyed. The Gzadin, despite what they were doing, no Gzadin could touch the Beis Hamikdash. However, once they allowed themselves to touch Shiktis, the fate of the Beis Hamikdash was sealed. That's what sealed the Beis Hamikdash. Once the Yesod was corrupted, was desecrated, at that point, the fate of the Beis Hamikdash was sealed. The Gedusha left of Bnei Israel, only a building remained in there. In here, we have a tremendous side that's used in the tefillah, that was used by Yehuda when he was fighting. If you take the word Yehuda in full, Yud, Hey, Vav, Dalet, Hey. But we're not going to calculate everything. We're going to leave Yehuda, the word Yehuda, alone. We're only going to go for the middle, for the inside. We want to know, where was the power of Yehuda from? The inside of Yehuda equals 425. Yeah, it's very nice, like Mashiach ben David. We've seen it before, but it goes 425. You write it Tav Chav He. In other words, it creates the word Ta He, to hit. Ve'ahavta Eis Saf Hashem, the last letter He, Elohecha, last letter Chav, Take. That's what the Talmudim of Rabbi Akiva told him. Why don't you go on and think about that Shem? Because that Shem turns people into a mount of bones. Remove life, flesh, everything. When we finish the Uvalet Zion, we say the pasuk Kiloi Ozafta Dorshecha Hashem. This is one of the Shem, the name of the Shem HaMefoirash, the one of the 72 names of Hashem. Again, Take. Someone knows how to think about it, he can take a life. What did Dasan told Moshe Rabbeinu? Lama sake re'echa. Moshe Rabbeinu says sake. He threatened him the same way I killed the Mitzri with that name, I will kill you with that name. Sake is a name that can remove a life, but that does tremendous nisim. If we take, again, we said equals 425. What are the biggest miracles in the history of the Jews? I would say you have two, Hanukkah and Purim. Calculate them. They were both done with that Shem. That Shem came out and saved the Hashmonaim and was hitting Yehuda Maccabi and his army. They were using this name. And that's why Malachim were coming down on horses of fire and killing Antiochus and his armies. In Purim, Haman fell, and all the Reshaim with the name Take. Take is a very powerful. So we see already here that we're having an indication what he used, but that's not the Roimach, right? It says Roimach. He didn't say Sake. He didn't say anything else. It says Roimach. But it said in the pasuk here we mentioned, it says Vayakam. What is this Vayakom? Vayakom equals 156. Equals Kina. Equals Yosef, yes, because Yosef was the Yesod. Equals Kina because he was Mekane, about the Bris Kodesh that they wanted to desecrate. But here, again, now we see he came out with a vengeance. Just to level what we spoke about before, Bekano Yeskinasi, he avenged my vengeance. When did he come out with vengeance? This word, Vayakom, tells us that he came up with a vengeance. We asked the question on the maybe I'm going to explain first the hugeness that the pasuk here is merames. Kina, it's two words, is kanoi hey. We know that the name kanoi, so I'm going to take off the hey at this point, equal 151, equals Aleph, Hey, Yud, Hey. Basically, somehow, Pinchas went to the Bina and brought her down to the Malchus to connect Kanoi and Hey, the shame of vengeance plus the Malchus, because they wanted to affect and desecrate the Malchus by removing her. And with this, he went out to fight. We had a different problem here. So, but we don't know where it's mentioned that he got it in the Bina. But it says a strange language in the pasuk. Vayakom, he raised himself. Mitoicha Eda, from within the Eda, which are two words that are not understandable. If we take Mitoicha Eda and say, okay, what else can it be? It's 550 equals Nesher. Who is the Nesher? Who is called the Nesher? The Bina. And the Bina, when it spread its wings, all the Chitzonim run away. They can't stand in their place because of the oil of the Bina. What does it tell us? What did Pinchas do, really? It's nice to say Kano, Kina, Kanoi, Hey. It's already nice. You want to go deeper? You take all the name of the Bina. So we have Kasa, Kamag, Kana. This we know equals to 455. Okay, all the Kehye with a different way to fill them up. We have, he went to the Bina, to the Nesher Agadol, and pulled the Shemes, bring them, connect them to the, now you add the Yichud of the Malchus, Kel, Aleph, Dalet, Nun, Yud, which equals 296. 455 and 96 is the Nesher plus the Keli. That's Mitoicha Ida. Mitoich, the Mekir of the Eda, mean in the Bina, what we call the Eda there, it's the Yesod of the Bina. That's where he went in order, as the Kohen and future Kohen Gadol, he could access the Chochmah, so his Chesed, he went up to the Bina and pulled out the Shemes, but still, it's still not a Roimach for us, right? The Galia Raza, it's going to give us a little bit of a change of a tune here. But now we're very clear. We know that Pinchas went to fight. Zimri went to fight Bilam, not really with a weapon, even though it says in the pasuk there was a weapon, but with the shemes of the bina. And what did he do? He connected the malchus and the bina so nobody can affect the malchus. Okay, so far it's clear. But then he should have not said roimach beyod, a spear. Could have said mate Moshe, maybe he took the mate of Moshe Rabbeinu. So tell me the mate. He made another miracle with the mate. That's not what it says. It says roimach beyod. So we're understanding a few words in the pasuk, but we still have a few questions. If it was not for my father, Elo Hashem, I would have not given this shiur. I don't have 1 ounce of energy. The Galia Raza here, the Talmud of Daria Kodesh, gives us another story. When Bilam left Balak, and he had his tail between his legs, like a sad dog, because he's a dog. Balak was a dog. Even in Klippus, when you know in the Shemesh, he was mamish the Klippus Keleb, a dog. He was so ashamed, so dishonored, so Balkaved, Balgaivad. You killed him, basically. Because he could not accomplish what Balak wanted from him. So what did he do? He went to Hara Choshech, to our 2 great Azar and Azal that are chained there. He told them the story, what happened to him, and he ended up in Bizon. They told him, Bilam, there's nothing you can do against those Jews. They have the Takif, the strong one, that nobody can against. And he's watching over there. There's nothing. But maybe there's one weakness. One weakness. And you have to do it right, and you will succeed. HaKadosh Baruch Hu hates immorality. You have to find a way to make them fall into a nisayon of immorality, and you will see it will take like fire. So he asked them, what do you suggest? He says, take your wives and take your daughters and prostitute them all. There's so much immorality into this that the same way HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Hashem ilachem lachem, when they listen to him, HaKadosh Baruch Hu goes ahead of the Bnei Yisrael and destroy the enemies. When they are immoral, as it says in Megillas Echa, Nepach lanu le'oyev, HaKadosh Baruch Hu turn into our enemy. And what did we say beforehand? What happened in Yerushalayim prior to the destruction of the Beis Hamikdash? They went with non-Jewish women. That seals it. So Bilam went back to Balak, and he said, Sitra Achra is my world. Niyuf, which is immorality, it's my world. I know how to create. I'm going to connect the Sitra Achra with the klipa of the female donkey. You will see which klipa it is. And together with the tummy, the Satan, with together, they will not be able to withstand the test. The side here is The Gemara says that Arayos and Zela, Nafshoi shel Adam mechamdasa. The nefesh of a person, not even his goof, his nefesh is seeking them. It's in his DNA. If he was not for HaKadosh Baruch Hu helping us, we would all fall in the Chas v'Shalom in the lower level of the Sitra Achra. It's in the DNA. You know, one time you need to learn everything is in the words, in the letters. Where is it? How do we call a man in Hebrew? An ish. How do we call a woman? Isha. Shechina b'neihem. We all know the Shechina is here. The Yud-K, I'm going to remove it. I'm going to remove it. What do you have? H. H. You take H equals 301 equals El Necha. Bas El Nechar is the daughter of that fire which is in every person, man or woman. Nobody's going to tell me he's a little tzaddik and everything. Everybody has these two letters, H. What tempers it is the Yud-K. In order to have the Yud-K, the Chida HaKadosh says you have to keep 3 alliances with HaKadosh Baruch. The bris of the eyes, not to look everywhere. The bris of the mouth, not to say diburei masurim. And the bris kodesh, to behave with holiness. Any of the 3 is broken, that person is in Elmeh. What the Chida says here, it's a side that takes everything we have learned about the mouth and takes it to the next level. In other words, we have 3 alliances in the person. The eyes, the mouth, and the bris kodesh. 3 brises. Any one being infringed will make the 2 other fall down. They can only hold together. It's a building holding. The person is a building holding on 3 feet. Al shloisha dvarim ha'olam omed. Because when you have the 3 together, you have the 4th leg, which is the leg of the Kedusha. But once they're not there, everything crumbles down. Now we start having a different understanding. What have they done? Ubar bas el necha. And they went with a foreign, the daughter of a foreign god. Who is the foreign god? It's always the Sitra. We will see how. But by protecting the bris kodesh Pinchas, now we see he's going to get something called in the pasuk bris shalom. Look at this in the pasuk. And now things are going to start tying up together. He gets here. Bris by itself it's the malchus. Because when we uncover the by the bris milah, we uncover we remove the Ola is to uncover the Malchus. Shalom is the Yesod. Yesod Malchus. This equals to 988. This equals to exactly the words of the Galia Raza of what Bilam wanted to do. He wanted to connect the clippers. We'll see if we have time. I'm going to go more into explain you exactly who is this tremendous clipper of the Awesome. Exactly. He thought that he could conquer the Yesod and the bris. But he didn't want to go any further. He didn't want to go any further than the Yesod. He wanted to have his good life, being able to go with his donkey and whatever. That's his life. But he didn't want to be punished. But the Bnei Smoyav, they wanted to push them to do Avodah Zarah with Baal Pe'or. Al Devar Pe'or. The Pasuk says it's the Bnei Midian that innovated another level of Chet to bring them to Baal Pe'or. Why? Because they wanted to destroy. Bilam wanted the Yesod, but the smart guy, he knew we don't destroy the whole Kedusha, we need the Kedusha. These one, they wanted to destroy everything. Maybe I'm going to explain the Roimach before I explain you this. Maybe I'll explain you, how am I going to do it? Yes, I'm going to explain you first the Roimach, then I'm going back to this also. Koyama Hashem. So Hashem said, Hashem Tzevakos, Kinesi letzion kino gedoilo. I avenged on Tzion. Tzion is the Harabais. Yerushalayim is the Holy. It's the Yesod and the Malchus. Kino gedoilo, v'cheima gedoilo kineisila, and a big anger. I avenge her. What happened? Because they went with the Basel Necha. Whenever we were given for keeping in us the Yesod and the Malchus, in return we are given Tzion Virushalayim, which equals Yesod and Malchus. It's exactly working like this. When a person is not keeping, as we're losing our grip, we're losing our right to have Yerushalayim and Tzion. We have two psukim here. The Midrash brings down, Midrash Tanchuma and Balak. Vayakoim Bilam baboiker, Bilam got up in the morning, Vayachavoish es asoinu. Ask the Midrash, doesn't he have a slave or a maid to prepare his asoin? He had to do it himself. Imach Shemoy, he wanted, from here we learn his intentions, that his intentions were in order to enable his hatred of the Jews to take effect, because he did something baboiker early in the morning. He showed he got up and he did so once you do an action with a lot of, I don't want to call it fluff because it doesn't resonate right, but with a lot of efforts, so this, your intention, your action carries a lot further. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, Rasha, Avraham Avinu already preceded you and annulled your actions. It says about Avraham Avinu by the Akedah, Vayashkem Avraham Baboiker. He got up in the morning. Vayachavosh es chamoy. And he prepared his donkey. Now, if you look between the two psukim here, we have a lot of similarities, but a few words are changing. Here we have Vayaker. Here we have Vayashkem. Interesting. Bilam, Avram, Baboike, Vayachavosh, Vayachavosh. Interesting. Without a verb. It doesn't say asoinu, es asoinu. What is this coming to include here? What is he coming to tell me that this? And the same thing with Avram. Vayachavosh es. Not only his donkey, there's something else that he tied up. Vayakim, you know from before, equals 156 with kin. He wanted to hurt the Jews. That was his intention. Vayakim Bilam, he came up with the kina raw. And who did he want to attack? You know that 156 equals 6 times Yud Ke Vav Ke. So the 6 Midah, the Yesod. He wanted to make them stumble. So Bilam, he saw the Satan failed on the Yesod up there, and he wanted to do it down here. Do you understand now why it's twice it says Pinchas ben Elazar ben Aaron HaKohen? One fight was keneged the bris on top, and one fight was keneged the bris down below. Pinchas bekanoi eskin arsi, 2 vengeances. One vengeance we're gonna see against the upper powers, the Sitra Achra, and one below against Bilam and his people. There were 2 vengeances that Pinchas went after. So here we have, interestingly, Vayashkem equals 376, exactly like Shalom, like the bris. The bris is called Shalom. And what would that mean? Vayachavosh es. I want to see if we can get from the gematria an understanding of what they try to bring with them. So we're going to start with Bilam. If I write pay ra in full, pay resh ayin equals 727. So how was Bilam working? With lechashim, with spells, with sorcery spells. And he came out with that in order to go after the Bnei Yisrael. But Avram, if I put it here, wanted to bring the Midah Verav Chesed Ve'emes. He wanted the Bnei Yisrael, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, to do a chesed and show them that was the plan of Bilam. Save them because of the chesed earlier. Save them because they can see. What did Bilam wanted to do? Vayachavosh es asoinu. Sorry, it's written 4 in the top. Okay, you know which word I'm talking about here. Asoinu equals 463 equals znus. Everything is revealed in the lashon of the pasuk If you look behind the words, you find his intention exactly. You know, we saw the Galia Raza, but now we see that we have everything here. It's 260 Chamoir. Says the Galia Raza. When the Asoin, which is the female, the Malach HaMaves, the female, the lily, saw Avraham Avinu. How much is Avraham? 248, right? Ramach. In other words, equals Chamor. So she saw a Chamor on a Chamor. He says the Malach Hashem, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu sent before Bilam, HaKadosh Baruch Hu told Avram, you come down, you take care of it. Now you take care of your children. Because V'rav Chesed, you ask me, you want a Chesed? You midah of Chesed. You go take care of it. And he appeared to her with his sword, and he was on the Chamor. He was riding exactly like when the Nachash came to Chava, where the Zerah says he was riding the Nachash. He was riding the Chamor. When she saw that, she got very scared. That's why we have these little games of words in the passage. What did he do? Pinchas, he saw that already Abraham, when he came and he had, Bilam was very scared. So he went to get Abraham. Pinchas with the Yud equals 208. Yitzchak, he had the Gevura. Now he needed the Chesed, because he learned this from Avraham Avinu when he went to war against the 4 kings. He was not scared, and he was only him and Eliezer. What did he take with him? Chesed and Gevura. Avram equals Roimach. Vaikach Roimach beyodoi. He took with him, he was very scared, Pinchas. He took with his name, he took Yitzchak, Resh Pinchas equals Yitzchak, and now in his hand he had Avraham Avinu. Why Avraham Avinu? Here there's a huge sword, Vecharboi Shelufa beyodoi. What time is it? I'm okay. So Vecharboi Shelufa beyodoi, how much equals Charbo? Rabbeinu had a sword, in his hand, big sword, and the Malach, the Asain saw a big sword in his hand and got very scared, and so Bilam, because it can be cut into pieces, with a sword. Like, they have metal shops up there, they make swords, beautiful swords, strong metal, everything. What is Charboi? Charboi is Kerev. Well, 6 times, Charbo equals Gevura. 216. This is when Avram, even the Chesed, he goes out with the Gevura. That's where he learned, Pinchas, that he needed both Midas in order to confront the Bnei Israel and happen what's happened, but at least he will be able to avenge the covet of the Malchus and the covet of the Yesod. He saw Avraham Avinu, what he wanted to do. He wanted to put the Nachash in the Milah, right? When we do the Milah, we remove the Aura. We spoke about this quite a few times. Is the Yudke Bavke goes in and the Shakai goes on the way outside. But what did he want to do? Bilam wanted to be Metame the Milah. That's why he had an extended arm. V'chabo shlufa beyadoi. Shlufa beyadoi equals exactly 443 like Nachash Mila. His intentions being revealed by the Malach just with his action, the Asan understood. When Bilam saw that, that's why he says right away, should I return? He realized, he thought he fooled Chaz v'shalom HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Kaviyachal HaKadosh Baruch Hu, when he asked him about who are the people that were there. He sees that the Malach knows everything about his intentions. So Kol Sheken HaKadosh Baruch Hu, so the fool is him. And that's what Pinchas built on. And he says, if the Malach was able to do that, I can do it. That's why he went to the Bina, because Cherev equals to 10, like 10 times Keye, which is in the Bina, the name of the Bina. He realized that that was the way in order to have to take down the Malachim up there and Bilam and down here. And I would like to just to show you, because I've been speaking about these there's so much I could say to you. Yes, I asked the question before, and I'm going to answer it just by going to the and answer the questions also of the Galia Raza. It says here, "Hey Shibes Chamasi," my anger. We asked, what's this anger? HaKadosh Baruch Hu has bad midas. If we take it, Chamasi equals 458 equals Baal Pe'or. The exact words in the Torah equals Sam Nachash. You take whatever they tell us, that they talk to us in a hidden way, but we have it exactly and if you're taking Basel Nechar, you see it's 703. Like Shabbos with the Koil, but to tell you, it removes, going with the Shiksa, remove all the Dusha of a Jew. Because in the Nefesh, if I have to strength on Shabbos, I'm going to go into this to see that not only the Nefesh, Ruach Shtus, Ruach Zenunim, all these languages, what they mean. Shtus is Gematria, Nachash, Nachash. Every word in these words are fundamental to understand what's behind it, because it tells us what's the little path for the Jew in order in this short life to remain and to be to remain a Ben Israel. It's not easy. And I'm gonna just to show you, look at this. Why did when they went in Pashas Matos and they started killing all the Midianim, punish them for what they've done to Bnei Israel, that we lost 24,000. He says, why did you leave them alive? Because they're the one. And hey, no, they are the one. How you leave Bnei Israel bidvar Bilam? That they were the not utensil, but the mean that was used by Bilam. Limser mal Hashem. Lim oil mal, this we've seen in a few parashas. But to hand over mal is kfira, is I don't know, a mal, to be moil. Limser mal, it doesn't match these two words here. What's limser mal? What was their intention? They wanted limser mal. The pasuk gives us words that don't stem together. It doesn't work. I'm going to try to write video. Uh-oh. Control Z. Okay, equals 470. Equals 10 times KA plus 10 times Yud K Vav K. Women are worse than men. The men wanted, you know what? As long as I have my way, I don't have to decimate them. I don't have to do anything. I'll be happy if I have them like Mitzrayim into the thing. They were not that happy. They wanted total destruction. Female Nazis were much worse than male Nazis. Female doesn't have this rachmanus that the man has. She has a nechama, but not the rachmanus. Now you're taking Amalek in full. Ayin, Mem, Lamed, Kuf. Equal 470. Same breed, same thing as Amalek. They can't stand anything Jewish. They can't exist. It's like we aggress them, our own existence. Like with Reshoim Aruri. Sometimes they go after people just because they exist, just because they are them. HaKadosh Baruch Hu made them, and they don't want the lot HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave them. And they're going to come out with a lot of stories that don't even make sense, that are stupid, that a child in kindergarten would know it's all a lie. And they build up a rational around this. This is Limsoyer Ma'al Bashan. And these people that do that are exactly the same as the Midianim. They are Amalekim inside their own thing. And these people will never see Gan Eden, ever. They will be in the Hechalos, the Tumah, the Zerah Kodesh speaks about them, where they're going to be and how long they're going to be. There's no ticket for these people. There's no ticket because they go after life of Bnei Israel. This is what Pinchas was fighting. Pinchas was fighting with the midah of Abraham and Yitzchak together. He was fighting a Bilam that came here with Kishuf, that came here with the worst weapon. Because you remove the Yud-K of Ish and Isha, automatically Bnei Israel are just like Goyim. They're not any different than Ish. There's the El Necha. And El Necha, you wanted to connect them to Bas El Necha. Then in Shemaim, it would be the Lili plus the Asain plus the Tamei. And because Pinchas took it upon himself to do this, he got the Bris Shalom, which is equal also 988, exactly like the Lili, the Asain, and the Tamei.